Hello there everyone, it's Sunday, so it's time for me to look at the coming week to see if I can spot any opportunities. Let's begin with my watch list. Top of my watch list, Adidas. Last week I said I don't like this because the moving average got broken and price was going down pretty fast. I think I was right on that one. I think it was also last week that this trend line broke, so this is not an ideal setup. It was not an ideal setup. As you can see, price moved into this support zone and took off after a 1-2 retest. It took off in the opposite direction. So not yet. Price doesn't want to move past this level, so that also means price doesn't want to make lower lows and start turning into a downtrend. So that's positive. Price moved away pretty aggressively, but then again, last week, the last couple of days were also a very positive sentiment on the overall market. So I want, as you can see, the 50% retracement price is that the 50? No, that's the 23.6. Price is running into this level right now. It's struggling here. Last Friday. I am looking at Adidas for the next week, but the thing I want to see first, let me draw that out, is the following. I want to see it take a breath, run into the moving average, retest it, and if it bounces off this level, to me, then we are in business and we can go all the way back up to this. I think it will probably run into this area first. Let me put a horizontal line on that. And let's take this one. I think it will, let's remove this one, maybe that's easier. I think it will run into this one, struggle for a little bit, and then we can get the same setup again to move beyond the previous highs in this stock. So I'm watching this. It needs some more information to unfold here, but definitely watching this. I see I draw this one in before. It's not really a convincing divergence, but it's some divergence. So that for Adidas. Let's move on. Volkswagen is not on my list anymore next week. Why? Because I think we have a retest and we are retesting the moving average right now again. This level got broken. This level got broken as well. Those previous resistance and here support. I'm not liking this one at the moment. Also, there was some negative news on Volkswagen, so of course I watch my watch list all the time. So when I see a new high and possibly the first high or low, so when price action gives me information that this thing is actually gonna run back up again, I'm going in, but for now I'm not. Then I have Alibaba. It took quite a while for price to move. It did, but also by the end of the week we saw that price came back for some reason to retest maybe the moving average. Still in this one, still same setup, still not adding because I'm already in, but this one needs to break this level, and if it does, let's see if we can add something on the way up. So for now we're already in this one, no need for any action in the next week. Nvidia, same thing. I entered around here, had a nice move, amazing numbers came out, but I think something in the forecast they mentioned as well is causing this this move. It broke the moving average, and actually we are again in some kind of correction. This of course doesn't count anymore. I want to see where this one is going. Not adding, not doing nothing in this setup. I'm already in from here on out, so let's see how that evolves. Next one I want to keep to the end because I want to zoom into that a little bit further. This is a nice setup that did not happen, unfortunately. Shopify, very hot stock. I am willing to enter this one around the 50 levels, so we need some well, the divergence was on, but it's not anymore, so this is not in play. I need this one to come back before entering. I'm not gonna enter on a high. I really need this one to at least retest the moving average, or preferably retest this support zone. Let's see what happens. Facebook way too far in the move, so I'm not gonna do anything with that. Netflix looks kind of the same. Let's get this off the charts. I need a pullback. I need a pullback, not just to the moving average, but this trend line. Around this trend line, let me draw it out. I am willing to enter. For now, no action for me. So this would be an entry. IBM, great run as well. Oh, it's the same setup. So when this turns out to be a double top and it pulls back, I'm willing to enter on the trend line, but nothing in between. And then something happened here last week. This is amazing. I've been talking to some of you on Instagram last week. Actually, I talked to a lot of you on Saturday, and questions I get a lot is where should I enter, where should I exit, where should I put my stop loss. I hear that question a lot, so people are struggling with that, which is nothing strange, because when you're new to trading, that is in fact the hardest thing to manage. This is a great example, and I want to zoom into this with you guys, especially for that reason. This has been a downtrend for a couple of weeks. So the dollar, the overall US dollar Swiss franc is an up move, and the dollar strength, of course, the dollar is in an up move. So this was a correction, and around here we saw it for the first time, some consolidation. Over here we saw again that we had the higher low. We actually tested with a higher high, but the trend line was still in place. We saw some divergence a little bit around this area as well. So everything is looking green to enter this trade, and last week it actually happened. Price broke the trend line, which is indicating that the trend is shifting. Then it came back over here, it retested, another move up, it retested the trend line again, and this was a really nice moment, and we went up. Now, where should I enter? To answer that question, when I see this picture and I see this trend line connecting the dots to the upside, and I see that price is holding above instead of below this trend line, I call this a cluster. To me, this is the uptrend line holds, the downward trend line holds, moving average, it's struggling around the moving average, then it takes off, so the moving average holds. There's so much information that price is not willing to go down but go up. To me, this yells enter, 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 enter. So this is a great entry point, and it's very easy where your stop should be. Let me point that out. All the things I just mentioned, when this line breaks, when this line breaks, when the previous low breaks, this should be your stop. And if you want to work with a little wider stop, then this should be at least your stop, because once this breaks, we start to see the market making lower lows, and that's not what we want to see. So easy stops, and even easier entry. So and now the next question is, where should I take my profit? Well, I entered two positions in this one. One I entered with a profit target around this area, and one I entered as a swing trade, because this of course was a pretty obvious resistance level. So I took my profit around here. It moved a little bit further, so we are actually seeing higher highs, which is also confirmation that this one is willing to move further. So this trend line, once we come back to this trend line around here, this area, I'm looking to re-enter. So if you are looking with me next week to the US dollar Swiss franc, of course you're not going to enter on a high. You're going to enter when price pulls back, and that already started. So when we come in this area, we are entering the trade again. Where is our stop? Our stop is below this support line, and of course below these lows. So around this area your stop should be. Where should your take profit be? Well, maybe you want to enter one for the long run. If you are willing to swing trade, we are looking at the next level will be around, I think price will struggle around here because we had some support. Yes, I think this is the first level because price this acted as support in the past, and the next one will be around here, I think. Maybe a little bit lower. Around here. Support, resistance, price struggle around here as well. So we got a 1-2 take profit, and maybe you want to go in for the long run. So to make it even more clear, I am waiting for this one to pull back into this area. There I want to enter. How big of a lot size and everything, I'm not a financial advisor, so that's up to you, of course. This is the previous high. I think this is a potential nice take profit. If you think price can go higher, this will be the next place where price will struggle and probably pull back. You can even make that more obvious when we start to connect these levels. When we connect the highs, we see that we are actually in fact exactly over here where price probably will bounce again. So this is a great move, and then the same thing happens. So what we're looking at here is a swing trade setup. Where do you enter, where do you exit? Well, I think it's quite obvious that I entered here. I will enter here again when price comes back into this area, probably around this support zone, around this. Let me draw everything in. Trendline support zone. We meet up again in a cluster over here. So this is an entry for me again, and of course we will continue to ride this trend. Well, you never know if the trend really continues to go up to 103. If it doesn't, no problem, because when we enter here, we go. Of course, we have our stop losses below previous support zones or previous lows, or there's so much information on the chart to determine where your stop should be. You can make a move in four swings to the upside, for example, or 3 or 5, who knows. Or you will be going in over here, you're going in again, you're going in again, and you close everything up here. That's all up to you. I cannot tell you how to do that, but this is definitely a great setup for next week. A thing I also look at when I'm looking at this is the dollar index. Let me put that up. That only shows on a daily chart, and on a daily chart we see that the moving average actually got broken as well. So and it holds above the moving average. So this is a great setup. No need to be thinking that the dollar is running out of steam, if you ask me. But we're looking at the dollar index, we're looking at the Swiss franc. Same thing I am looking at next week. Let's move to the 4-hour chart. Is the US dollar. Singapore dollar. This is actually almost the same chart as the Swiss franc. That's correct, but same goes over here. Let me put in a trend line connecting the upper. I think it will be something like this. Actually, the moving average just got retested. The trend line got retested. This would have been a nice entry. I missed this one, so let's see if price starts moving up and down and where we can enter these trades. We saw some nice divergence. This is a fantastic setup. I know a lot of you are also looking at the euro dollar. I personally do not trade this one, but let's look at that one, for example, and then we close out for the week. Of course, the correction in the euro dollar was opposite than the previous two pairs. So the correction was to the upside. We ran into some major resistance over here. You can see that on the maybe on the daily. Yep, you can see it over here. So this level, of course, interacted with that level. Price bounced and started moving lower. Now we are seeing this low, which actually got tested, but it didn't quite run through, not yet. there is no reason for me to think that this trade will not continue next week. I want to see a retest of the moving average, for example, or I want to see a retest of a trend line that's in here. Quite obvious one. So even in this case, the trend line and the moving average are corresponding pretty nicely. So nice entry level, stop loss of course above the previous high, but even closer, I think a stop loss above this trend line, above the moving average, is also a very safe stop loss. And then we can let's see what we find. Over here we have some problem, price will have a problem. Down here price will struggle again, a little lower I think. Over here, let's see what happens after that. After that, the way is pretty clear. So this is what we get. Nice setups, nice take profit zones, nice run. This to me this is a great setup. So like I said, I trade risk reward. My stop would be around here, my entry would be around there, and my first take profit will be around here, which is a great risk reward, even better, amazing, and so on. So we have great potential trading this setup. So actually the US dollar related pairs are in play for me next week. I think I will be getting the most out of these pairs in the next week, because there are very clear patterns. It's very clear where do you want to get in, where do you have to get out, where do you set your stop. This is very safe trading if you stick to the rules. Check out my YouTube for more videos on how I trade, and believe me, with me there are a lot of people who look at the market like this. The banks, the institutions, the professional traders all look at the markets like this. I think trading is not gambling. So it's a discussion you see sometimes on social media. Why? Because I know exactly where to get in, where to get out if I'm wrong, and where to take my profits. This is, to me, these are when you learn to read the charts, then trading becomes fun. Because when you losing sucks, guys. Nobody likes to lose, but if you do, make sure you lose a little bit. But when you're in a good position and things are still running your direction, then you have to run this one. So that's it for this week. I think we have some nice opportunities, especially in Forex this week. Keep in mind, maybe Adidas shows us something to enter, and I think that's it for the stocks next week. I think I will be scanning the markets for new opportunities as well. I'm thinking about some German stocks to trade the German session. You'll see next week what my new opportunities and my new watch list will look like. Thank you. Have a great trading week.